Alright guys, here we're going to talk about Season 2, Episode 14 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Innocence.
It has finally happened.
It's happened.
Something has happened.
Oh, buddy.
A thing happened.
So we left off where Angel runs out into the rain.
He's like, I want to be wet! And he just ran outside for no reason, yeah.
And he picks up, in this episode, outside wet.
Yeah.
Some lady looks at him like, are you okay there? I'm going to call 911. And then he springs up, oh, I'm pretty good. And you're like, oh, God, he's a vampire.
He says, the pain is gone. And you're like, uh-oh.
No. Pain is gone.
You sure?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Coolest thing Angelus ever does, though, is right here where he bites that girl on the neck and then lets out the smoke.
Blows the smoke out. Yes, that's crazy. However, that means he's breathing, right? Or at the very least, he's like sucking enough to get the air out of her like windpipe or something like that.
Well, if you can do either of those things, you could resuscitate someone.
So you're like, okay, maybe that's some weird different thing. Like 3 scenes later, he lights up a cigarette and starts to literally, they're like, no, he can do smoke. How does he smoke? What the fuck? Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing.
And that just goes to show you, though, nicotine. Not even once, because he's got a little taste from her, and now he's addicted. He's hopelessly addicted.
He's hooked, people.
Don't do it. Just
That's
don't
a
do
good
it.
point. Is he a smoker? That's weird.
He is now. Not even once.
There's vampire stuff where after they feed, they take on memories and like traits from from the people that they feed on. Mm-hmm. This is not one of those shows, I think. But that's the thing that just happened, kind of. Unless he just smokes. He's never gonna smoke again, is he?
I think it's to make him like a bad boy. Like, look, he's striking matches, and he's using that flame to light some sort of a stick. That's a cigarette. Like
some sort of stick.
Yeah, but you get Buffy wakes up, and this is like a traumatizing. A layering of traumatizing things happen to Buffy in this episode.
Well, I don't know what. I'm not in on the plan. It's his plan.
The first of which is to wake up after her first, time of
coitus,
of having coitus.
Coitus 1.
And there's no one there. She's like, where is he?
Yeah.
And then he goes missing, and you're like, well, what the fuck?
And she's worried.
Yeah.
How cute, how adorable of her.
And then that alone would be a trauma. But then to have him come back and he's Angelus, but you don't know this yet.
Yeah.
And he's rubbing your face in. He's like a master of psychological torture.
Yeah, he's great.
Oh, he's pretty good.
Yeah. I think I really wanted to stick around after that.
What?
And evil David Boreanaz. Better actor than regular David Boreanaz.
So you've made comments before like, yeah, when Angel's brooding, it sucks and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, I remember Angel not being like this at times, but I didn't have the whole timeline. Mm-hmm. Again, I feel like this happened way too early for me in my memory. Or I'm like, no, there's like seasons of boring Angel, and then something happens and it like flips the switch and he becomes bad Angel, and then we swap around and he's like, I'm gonna have my own show, and he just leaves. It's a whole thing. But yes, this is crazy. He's so much more animated, and he's doing his like wise guy thing from like Bones or whatever, but he's evil, right? And it's this nice twist.
You mean Bones stole his wise guy thing from Buffy?
It doesn't mean like we have to make a big deal.
It is a big deal.
It's what? Bells ringing, fireworks, a dulcet choir of pretty little birdies.
Well, I'm saying, like,
zing.
I know him as like funny, whatever, but now he's like, yes, he's evil. And this again is like a Joss Whedon-y way of like doing a teen show where it's like, imagine if the boy who took your virginity suddenly turned into this monster. Only that literally happened instead of just being this like this like metaphorical fear that like chicks would have. So I'm like, this is great. This is awesome.
Just that idea that he's only wanted one thing. Yeah. Now that he doesn't even want me. Oh God, of course. Why would he want this 16-year-old girl? I'm 17 now. Maybe he wants. Oh God, like I'm old news now.
No, and he says like, you obviously don't know anything about men, which was pretty clear last night. You're like,
you got a lot to learn about men, kiddo. Although I guess you proved that last night.
Like he's cutting like so deep.
Oh
and she's reacting.
He rips her apart.
And like even she says, "I love you," and then he's like, "I love you too."
Angel.
Love you too.
and then like turns around, like even him like on paper saying like the right thing was such like a cut of like shit, this guy's he's
fantastic.
a monster.
It just I really feel for it, and I'm like, oh God, so sorry for you in this situation.
Yeah,
my God.
Like I said, I said like one or two of these ago, I hate Buffy and Angel as a couple. They suck, and I'm like, okay, cool, that was never even a thing.
Yeah.
This is the thing, is like he's gonna be like.
This is certainly a thing.
Yeah, a
so
monster.
like Miss Calendar saw it coming first. Like she got the tip off.
And that soul is taken from him.
If it's happened, then Angelus is back.
And I love there's a bit of like oh, didn't see that coming kind of moment for Joss here, where we're like she's like oh, okay, I can take you to someone that can help you. Oh, this and that, and like
that was nice.
that like old gypsy guy, I thought she made bring you. Oh, it's Angel.
I knew she would bring you. I suppose you want answers.
Not really.
This thing of like, I knew you would come, and it's like record scratch, like oh shit. And he's like, wow, he does a like wisecrack or something.
Yeah.
Yes. Now that's perfect. That guy's great. R.I.P. I learned his name, but I already forget it. I know, I was like, where do I know him from? Everything? No, I know him from Ghost, where he is the ghost in the subway who teaches Patrick Swayze how to like manipulate real objects again. I was like, this guy has a very distinct look and everything. He's dead though. Wait, maybe he's not dead. No, he seems dead though, right? Because they come in and there's all blood.
I thought you meant in real life.
Oh, he is dead in real life.
Okay.
Of course, 2005. R.I.P.
Yeah.
But I meant R.I.P. from the Romani grandfather here.
Yeah.
Yes. But also R.I.P. to Vincent Scrivelli, whatever his name is.
Dead in both regards. R.I.P.
Dead in every possible way.
I would imagine so. Yes, unless there's some fan fiction where he's got brought
They
back.
don't show his body.
That's because he wasn't on set then.
That's because he was busy. Exactly.
They only had him for so long.
Had to get in and out.
Speaking of only had for so long, so like just to jump the gun here, I thought the judge was around longer in my head. If you would have asked me, I thought he was around for 4 episodes, but I thought it was like a couple episodes of getting your strength and doing this jazz.
Yeah.
But really, he's really in and out.
I am ready. About time.
This dude only does 2 episodes of the show and then he leaves.
Yeah.
That's his thing.
No, like literally, because this happens sometimes. Season 1, like a character's there, or maybe it's a new character, but the same actor comes back, and to be like a part of the show. And it's this thing where it's like, okay, the showrunners were like, we like blew our thing, and that guy was so great. Can we get him back? That's weird. Just make him put like a thing on his face. He'll be like a new character. It'll be fine. And no, instantly just gets killed in this great again like Joss Whedon-y like subverting my expectations type of way.
One of the biggest
all this
clap
build-up.
moments, like where I'm like, like kind of moments of the season is right there when he's like, what does that do?
What's that do?
And then he gets hit with that fucking thing like, it's so much unbelievable shit just to lead up to this awesome thing here.
No, it's a great moment because Drusilla and Angel know what it does.
Oh yeah.
And they book running, but then we cut to slow-mo. So it's just our boy standing there like, nothing can hurt me, what do you mean? And they're just like running as fast as possible to get away.
So it's established that Xander has all the memories from when he was,
fucking insane,
an army man. He says even like things that are needlessly specific, like I have access codes, I know the schematics to this base.
I know procedure, ordnance, access codes, everything. I know the whole layout for this base, and I'm pretty sure I could put together an M16 in 57 seconds.
Were you a soldier from that base?
All soldiers know the layout of all army bases.
That's
they have
canon.
They have to memorize that.
No, I think that's hysterical.
After that episode, in my mind, I was like, oh, nobody remembers anything good or something like that. Because, like, whatever the fuck, right? But now it's like, he's received permanent combat upgrades from that experience. Yeah. And they call back. He says, remember when I became a soldier for Halloween? And, like, we as the audience are like, I do. Like, that's crazy.
That wasn't that long ago. I do remember that.
That's coming into play. That's amazing.
Remember Halloween, I got turned into a soldier?
Yeah.
Well, I still remember all of it.
Yes.
I love it.
Crazy, though, from like a writing perspective, right?
Sure.
To be like, why have you, like, how has he not been like doing stuff that's like tipped it off or like done anything up until now?
Yeah.
You've been sitting on
this.
this.
It seemed like it just clicked with him. He's like, well, I have a thought.
Wait a minute.
In fact, I have a plan.
This might come in handy. And I'm like, what the fuck? You've been fighting all these things? Yeah, it's great.
Whoa. I think I'm having a thought. Yeah, that's a thought. Now I'm having a plan.
Yeah, shouldn't you have been like Krav Magaing people? Like, what are you doing? because that doesn't really come into play ever again. But I love it.
I wonder. Okay, so you may remember, and I will close my eyes. Then I wonder if this comes back again. Maybe not. But that's great that there's an army base. Sunnydale, like my mental map of Sunnydale continues to grow.
Oh, it's like Springfield from The Simpsons.
Yes.
It has everything.
It's going to have one of everything.
Yeah.
Let's go to the nuclear power plant now. It's gonna be.
I just love. He
everything.
doesn't even like put on a uniform. Nothing. He just walks in his like leisure suit. He's like, got Cordelia on my side.
Halt! Identify yourself right the hell now.
Dress trashy, perfect.
Trashy.
They go in there, and he like does out-talk this guy.
The gift of gab, Xander.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Everyone has a power.
It wasn't even like he assumed the position of a higher up. He's just a private, like.
No, and like he literally grabbed that guy's like machine gun.
And why should I?
Well, if you do, I won't tell Colonel Newsom that your boots ain't regulation, your post wasn't covered. And hold your gun like a sissy girl.
His,
Yeah.
like, rifle. Like that's insane.
And holding your gun like a sissy girl. And he,
Right.
like, what?
And that guy looks at him like, he did grab my gun. I guess he's legit. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? What are you doing? Oh my God. Right. But yeah, like it would have been like the way he tells his story. The 33rd. You're like, oh, he's making shit up. What a dumbass. And then like 2 seconds later, he's like, I know everything. And I'm like, why didn't you be like, Colonel whatever's going to be here in 5 minutes, and his usual golf game is like rained out, or some like weirdly specific stuff to make it clear.
I think that would have been too much. I think even knowing like not knowing that the unit he says he's a part of is out, that tracks. Where it's like, yeah, how would you know their comings and goings? You wouldn't have had like, I have a 17-year calendar and I know where they're gonna be. What? Yeah, all soldiers know that.
Because the costume shop to turn us into those things, like, took a nearby, like the closest in proximity soldier was into his mind. Like, what the hell? Like, how would that even work?
And I also, I don't know, I guess I just always
way.
assumed that he was like a Vietnam soldier. Just something about his like, gotta take a lot on faith there,
Charlie.
Like he had like that, like,
Yes.
I'm a suave, 19 kind of guy,
Yeah.
not like a 2000 or I guess 98 at the point kind of guy. It didn't seem like it was that.
And I thought it was like, this is Xander's idea of a soldier. So he's doing like movie soldier thing.
Yeah.
Right? And
Every once in a while he jumps down on a cigar and says, get to the chopper, like
get to the
something.
chopper. He's holding a baby. Like, what is this thing? Get it out of here! Like he's doing certain like stuff that he recognized as it. Because then Buffy should like remember how to sew and do like Victorian England things or whatever.
That would
Plus,
be nice.
again, everyone should have traded stories like I'm having all these dreams and I have all these memories of this other life, right? And no one's talked about it.
And Willow just has proof of the afterlife.
Yeah. I'm a ghost whisperer now. I know ghost things. Like, how does that
That would
work?
be cool, actually.
Or like she doesn't turn into a cat, but for anyone who like turned into something, it's like, I know about the Goblin King now. Like, you'd have memories of some. It's literally insane, but I appreciate it.
For sure.
Just calling him back to an actual episode for us is such like an interesting idea.
Oh, you look spiffy.
Spiffy.
So like Xander's a boss in this episode.
Kind of.
Like from the beginning, where like Buffy is missing and presumed hurt,
yes.
dead, danger, whatever, and he's like, all right, we go to the factory, we save her, and they're all like, what?
Yeah.
If anything could hurt Buffy, we have no chance at all. Bunch of chicken shit sons of bitches, and like he's going, Willow's on the side, they're about to head out the door. Buffy walks in. Okay, don't have to go. Cool.
I'm upset and I can't think of a mean word right now, but that's what you are, and we're going in the factory.
Yeah.
Buffy!
And then like
The line from Giles,
Yes.
where because Willow's like, yes, some of us were gonna rescue you, and Giles is like, I would have.
We were just going to rescue you.
Well, some of us were.
What? I would have.
Just like doesn't want to do a thing. But no, it's totally like that's
it makes
reasonable.
100% sense.
You
Yeah,
shouldn't
what
go.
are you gonna do? Like, what would? And when I say Xander's a boss because he's willing to die for his friends,
He's
and
a
he proves
fool,
this
yes.
over and over and over and over again, which
Yes.
makes Cordelia a little mad. Like, oh, you're gonna go die for Buffy? Would you even die for me? Like,
I could die from you.
Yeah.
You were too busy rushing off to die for your beloved Buffy. You'd never die for me.
No, I might die from you. Does that get me any points?
No.
The
He
usual
saves
things.
Willow.
That's my favorite part because they insert this like quick shot of him like looking over his shoulder, like he's like something felt weird about that. I have to go back. right? Which is not just his instincts as a Vietnam vet. It's actually like, you know.
Well, it's probably more his instincts of, I hate Angel and don't trust him ever, so why am I trusting him now? And like, just, you know, hang on a second.
Just that moment of like, what? I was like, nice. And then, he gets the cross and sneaks up and gets him.
And it's like extra good because he gets to, you know, help Willow after they just had this horrible moment where Willow catches him making out with Cordelia. And this is, you know, this is trouble. This is like what the fuck? You hate her. You're kissing her? It's like, do you want literally everyone but me?
It just means that you'd rather be with someone you hate than be with me.
Is there a process?
This scene felt like, there's a few of them here. Allison Hannigan's doing such a good job. It felt like she was in black and white and then like snapped into like color for some of these scenes. Her face and storming out and the whole like, you know, exchange between them, like you're saying. Like, you know, what happened to the I Hate Cordelia Club, of which you are the treasurer or something like that, right? This whole exchange between them, it has such like emotion and like charge to it. It's really great.
I know what's weird.
Weird? It's against all laws of God and man. It's Cordelia, remember?
Her face alone, when like Xander and Cordelia twist a little bit and you see her mouth is like in a shape and like her face is twisted and broken from what she is seeing.
Yes.
Like the emotion of betrayal is just right on her face, and that's acting. I love that.
I know.
So good.
And Xander's reaction, I was even like, did I miss something? And maybe I did, but like, I thought Xander said like, Willow's the type of girl who's your friend, and that's how I think about her. But he didn't know Willow heard him say that or something.
Yeah.
So when she says, oh, you'll date anybody but me, like, shouldn't he be like, wait, what? Do you like me? Like, does he know that she likes him? Like, how did he know that?
I think it's alluded that like the idea is out there, like that, like you can pick up on something, but you may not be interested in it. But even though in that one episode it did seem like, you know, her nose looked so tasty or whatever, so like there was a moment when that could have been a thing, and like, you know, I think it's also different to like assume someone likes you than know someone likes you, because especially if it's your close friend, this is like his
once
best
it gets
friend.
said, it's crazy.
And like, even if he thought something, I doubt he would act on it out of fear of like, you know, tainting or screwing up that friendship. He'd have no problem doing that with Buffy though.
Well, because he doesn't think of Willow that way. He established that part. But yeah, I would have thought that he should have been more shook by her just, you know, like admitting that she wants to be with him or something like that. But you know, his reaction could be read as like, oh shit, what the fuck's going on? Because she runs off and he doesn't like chase her or shout after her. He just goes like damn, like this sucks.
Well, he eventually finds her.
Yeah. They do a bunch of stuff later, but that scene in the hallway.
He sneaks up, steals Calendar's, you know, cross and saves him from Angel, and like. There's a couple of great physical moments in this episode, and that's one of them where like when like tossed into the wall, like they hit the wall there, and I'm like, that was good. Another great one is when Miss Calendar gets like chokeslammed by Buffy in the middle of computer class.
Buffy!
What do you know?
Should I get the principal?
No, I'll deal with this. You're all dismissed.
But it's like a 1 to 2, like straight down. Like that was a great. Like I'm like, whoa, all right, wait, hey, what do you got going there?
This is another. Like I think in this season there have been like 5 episodes where I'm like, this feels like a season finale in like a weird way. Where even the fight between Buffy and Angel later gets more physical and has more stuff breaking and things happening.
The episode feels longer.
Yes.
Like there's a thing there where like, okay, this would have been your normal conclusion, because usually an episode just kind of ends. It would have been like, oh, you blew him up. There'd have been one joke back at the house and it would have been over, but there's that fight, and like she gets the upper hand and could have ended Angel, but she can't actually do it, because even though this is Angela speaking, it is not the man she loves, it is the vessel that she loves, and if she kills one, she's going to kill the other, and the emotion runs deep and she just can't do it, but she can kick him in the nards like he's a wolf man.
That was the craziest part too, is like, oh, we ended by kicking him in the nards, like hilarious.
Gotta get yours.
But yeah, like, because I think that she might still think that there's a chance, because she says to Miss Calendar, like, curse him again. Like, reset it. And she's like, no, we can't do that.
So now that the curse is all laid out, because you haven't known the details, or maybe you knew them from the past, but it wasn't clear, I didn't want to say it again. This is the worst fucking curse you could ever. Let's just break this down for a moment. I'm cursing you because you fucked with my shit. So what am I going to do? I'm going to curse you to have a soul. And you're going to have that soul until you're happy. And then once you're happy, no soul.
You turn into a monster again with no restrictions whatsoever.
What?
Yeah.
Why would there ever be a caveat like that?
No.
Why not? No, you're cursed forever. You're going to deal with this forever. Because he even says, like, we deal with forever. And, like, we have people follow people to make sure they're thing. Like, what?
Vengeance is a living thing. It passes through generations. It commands.
He says, like, revenge is not just a word that means something. That's Irish. What am I doing? He says, like, revenge is to us, it's, it's different, and we do this thing. But yeah, you have to, like, deploy sleeper agents to watch him and, like try to mess with his stuff so he can't really, like, enjoy his life. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's absolutely
like,
insane.
I like the idea of, like, he was not meant to take on the soul to be a happy person. He was meant to be miserable.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't be what, like, triggers it to end or something.
No.
And, okay, so, like, I don't know how anything works. I have vague memories of, like, a ring. Don't say anything, it's fine. But after Angel comes up and like bites I'm gonna call her a hooker. She was not a hooker at all. She was just someone like smoking at night. Yeah, probably a waitress, hooker, same thing.
You know.
Yeah. But after he does that, I was sitting there like, is Angel not allowed to fuck? Like, what's happening here? And then later it was like, no, that's it. Angel's not allowed to fuck. I'm like, he's never been happy like enough to trigger it before.
I don't
Only
know.
fucking was enough.
I don't know if it's actually the fucking.
Yeah.
Because it could be like that.
But that means he didn't feel the love enough until he was fucking her.
Well,
that's crazy.
I took it as I think like trying to be a nice guy about it. Yeah. I took it as the first time he woke up in bed next to this person he loves, that he's like, I have everything I want. Oh! And then the soul gets him, and
that's nice.
Shit.
Yeah. Because it didn't happen mid-coitus.
No.
Okay, I like that.
Because it wasn't
right.
No, he
She
woke
wasn't
up.
like, do you like that? And he was like, oh yeah, I'm turning into
he wakes up. It's a nice warm bed.
Yeah.
Holding the one he loves, and he's like I'm a demon now.
This is a perfect moment. Oh, and starts to go.
Put on all my clothes and scream in the rain.
Let me lace up my boots. Put on all my clothes.
Buffy.
Felt? Okay. Yes. Hilarious. Yes.
Arm.
So Oz was kind of inducted into Scooby's last episode, and now like firm member. I got a van, and like he's helping him out and shit.
But even I'm sorry to like pause you right here, but the tension of like, yeah, I'm gonna need Cordelia for this mission.
What do we do?
I think I may need Cordelia for this one.
And then to have it flip around with like, well, Oz has a van. Why don't we bring Oz?
No problem. I'll get Oz. He has a van.
I'm like, nice.
And
nice.
Oz is a fucking prince.
Yes.
Like he may be the classiest and nicest person in Sunnydale, like period. His whole
On
thing,
Earth,
like,
perhaps.
oh no, like I really want to kiss you. Oh, but I'm not going.
I'm not gonna kiss you.
I'm gonna wait. It seems like there's some stuff in the air here, and I want it to be like a real moment between you and I wanting this to happen.
Yeah.
I'm like, fucking good guy.
It's like the not now, not on a bet, George Clooney from the Roseanne show. Print it up. No, like that's an awesome moment. Even his response of like, what? When she goes like, do you want to make out?
What?
Forget it. I'm sorry.
And his like, what? His weird delivery, very, very Seth Greeny of him.
No, he's great. I like him a lot.
No, and you said like a prince, like a perfect dude, and like he jumps out and then it like hangs on Willow's face, and she's just like smoldering, like I want him so much more now.
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
she should.
Perfect. Good moves.
Oz is the kind of guy you want to date your daughter.
Don't do that. Oh, I think I do that.
Picking back up with our bad guys, because we really didn't talk about them that much this episode. We got some great stuff from Drew, where she's looking at the stars and bullshit.
I'm naming all the stars.
You can't see the stars, love. That's the ceiling. Also, it's day.
She kind of reverted back to like the Drew that I don't like a little. She has like 3 modes, right? I like her crazy, fun girl in the city of like, loud, crazy. But sometimes she dips into like Muppety, like too crazy.
I think she took a shot to the dome when Angel reverted back. She's like, a burst of energy is in the world. And like that made her get a little bit
it was like 1,000
again.
voices crying out all at once. And then Growling's, oh God. Yeah. But that kind of kicked her back into like, look at the flowers. And like being all shitty that I don't like. But yeah, she's great in this. When she's like, our family's back together and dancing around and stuff. I'm like, this is awesome. But then when the rocket launcher goes off, she goes, oh! She does her weird Miss Piggy and like runs away. We had to get rid of her. I understand.
Indeed.
But yeah, Angelus coming in and like saying, as long as there's scum like you in the world, I'm not gonna do it. Whatever. I'm like, this is hilarious. This nice little like they didn't know either.
As long as there's injustice in the world, as long as scum like you is walking or rolling the streets, I'll be around. Look over your shoulder. I'll be there.
Angel, look over your shoulder.
mean, we don't know.
When he like
Really.
snarls and like snaps at Spike and then just like kisses his head, he's like, oh.
Yes.
I'm like, all right.
And Spike's like, oh.
Because they're like, you know, they have a weird dynamic.
Yes.
As most families do. But
Oh, very
I like
sexual,
that.
yes,
I
like
like
most
when they
families.
all hit the mall.
Yeah.
I think that it's like a great, like, both squads like rolling deep. You got like, you know, nameless,
Yes.
faceless vampires watching the door.
Filing out,
You got
yeah.
like, you know, the right hand, the left hand, the judge in the middle, and then like, you have like the Buffy squad come in,
Yeah.
like they're all ready. You got Giles like holding the thing. I was like, all right, we got some stuff going on
Yeah.
here.
The shot of it going back onto Buffy, like the swing camera thing coming up, and it seems like a little miscued, but Xander's like opening the crate like at her feet right as the camera goes by, and she just has the crossbow and then says like a one-liner.
Yeah.
I'm like, ah, nice, sick.
I think I've got his attention.
Exactly.
I do
No
think
thing can harm me. Yeah.
these are the kind of things where you're like, how can you have a next day after this? You just had a
yes.
guy like zap everyone in the mall at once, literally fried one to
Killed
vapors.
one dude right
Yeah.
there, which no one seemed to notice. That's
Buffy
fine.
fired a rocket launcher. Even if there was no demon trying to kill people,
I know.
you just did terrorism in a mall.
Yes. Well, and most episodes end, which lets us like just blank our minds. Like, well, I guess no one cares. Or like the fire department's there, and they're like, okay, go home. I'm just happy you're okay. Like, go away. Okay, gas leak. Okay, whatever. This though, like, there's a scene with the mom later who's like, we're gonna go to the mall on you know, like we're gonna go shopping, and like mentions the mall.
No, this is good. But we're still going shopping on Saturday. So what'd you do for your birthday?
And I wanted like a cutaway of Buffy, like, the mall might be, I heard about something, it might be closed for like repairs. And she's like, oh, it's like, someone, it's like a rumor.
It might be wanted
just
for,
heard about
I don't
something.
know, murder or something. Who's to say?
But it makes you think about how, yeah, they just went to the mall and fired a rocket launcher and picked up pieces of another humanoid
But there
thing.
should be security
Yes.
camera footage. Like
Yes.
there's no way, like, when you do these things in like a building that's like, oh, it's dilapidated and no one lives there and this
Right.
and that. Oh, you're on the bad
Warehouse
side of
outside
town.
of town,
Oh, you're in the
yes.
graveyard. You're
Right.
whatever. This is, you're in a mall. People watched you do that. It's
Yes.
a real thing. Like, there's no not what.
No, like 50 people have a story. I barely got out with my life.
Yeah.
I thought I was having a heart attack. I saw some some cosplayers, and then I ran away. And it's like, what?
Yep.
And they're just like, no problem, it's fine.
What are you gonna do?
Nothing apparently.
Yeah, I love when the judge, like, you know, you don't know that Angel is Angel because he likes to fuck with people. So when he first comes in, he's doing that thing. He's fucking with Spike. Ah, you scum, whatever. And then he's like, look around, and he turns around. There's the judge.
Hurts, doesn't it?
Well, you know, it kind of itches a little.
Don't just stand there, burn him.
He cannot be burned. Oh, is he broken? Like,
Gee, maybe he's broken.
Is he broke? Maybe he's broken. Does it
I
hurt?
love that.
Oh, it itches a little. All their little one-liners. But yes, his thing of like, this one cannot be burned. Like,
this one cannot be burned. He's clean.
Clean. You mean he's...
There's no humanity in him.
like he is clean, and you're like, oh, from your perspective, that's clean.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'm like, oh wow, the nerdy vampire had enough like in him to burn him. Is very funny. I'm like, interesting, because he can't do vampires normally, right?
I think he can do vampires normally because the first time you see the judge, he says to to Spike and Drusilla, he's like, oh, you reek of humanity. Like, it's like, hey, don't you forget who's the one that got you out of that box.
I rubbed the lamp.
So like I think that's like the whole like Worf type of thing where it's like oh, that's just to show how evil he is.
Okay,
I think your average vampire is still enough human they could get vaporized.
Well, I thought it was all of his reading that made him too human, and he was
it didn't help.
syndrome.
Didn't help.
Because reading is evil from their perspective, because it's good, right?
Yeah. I love all the little digs at Buffy this episode. Like she comes home and like her mom's like, "It looked different," and it's like,
Yes.
"Can she tell?"
I don't know. You just look.
Like you see that look on Buffy's face, like, "Oh God."
No, and again, like the virginity versus like I've unleashed a horrible evil upon the world. Right? It's a nice little, but yeah, Joyce picks up on something. Something's up.
And like Giles, how can he be sure it was you? And
Dude.
because Willow and her were just talking about it, Willow's like, "Shut up."
When Willow says, "Shut," I think it's because there's more camera movement that I'm like,
Maybe.
oh, it's a season finale like thing, because the camera swings over, onto Willow, and when she goes, "Shut up, Giles."
Well, did anything happen last night?
Giles, please. Okay.
Buffy, I'm sorry, but we can't afford to... Buffy!
Joe, shut up.
I'm like, Willow knows too, because that's not public knowledge yet. She didn't say, even to Willow that they boinked, right?
No.
It's just that
she said she was ready to.
Yeah, but she's like picked up on it now.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, it must be this. Like, uh-oh, right, guys? A nice little sisterhood moment between them is good.
So I feel so bad for her.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It totally sucks.
I'm 17. Looking at linoleum makes me want to have sex.
So I made a prediction, and I almost wanted to hedge it by saying either the thing I'm predicting will happen or the exact opposite with Miss Calendar, right? Because I was like, oh, I thought it was going to be something, and now it's like, oh, like you were sent here, so now everyone will find out, and Giles will be like, oh, like so you were just pretending? And she's like, not totally, like it's gonna be like that shit. And then I was like, oh well, it's Joss Whedon, so he might be like ironically like twisting it, where she is like, I don't like you weird old British nerd, and it would be like super hardcore. But they split the difference. They kind of like surprised even me, where you just get this really subtle thing where she's like, what can I do to help? And Buffy says, you can go. And then Giles is like, you heard her, you can go. And I was like, oh.
Get out. I just want to help.
She said get out.
And that's it. And like part of me is like, this may be all we ever see of Miss Calendar forever, which who knows? But yes, I'm like, okay. So she's not going to get sucked in, into a portal. She's not going to give her life for something, and we're not going to have either extreme with her and Giles. This might just be like it, where they're like, that bitch, get out of here. And it's like because there's no more reason for her to be there, right?
Out with a whimper instead of a.
Which is awesome, honestly, because like those cliche things, and this show always like replaces those cliches with like other things that can happen instead. So this episode was still jam-packed with things, but I'm glad that they kind of dodged that. Maybe next episode will open with them crying and being like, I thought you loved me. I do, though. I can't trust you. Whatever. But we'll see. So
and that's the lead prediction for this episode.
So far, I like it, though. I like this treatment of it, just to kind of be like, no, obviously you can't hang out with us. We're not going to tell you like we can't trust you anymore. You got to go. And it's just this nice little easy, like we don't even have time for a big tearjerker about this, right?
There's too much happening in this episode. Can you just leave?
Yes. Please leave and don't show up for the rest of our filming schedule. Yes.
What'd you feel about like the "Was it good for you too" written on the wall?
Oh, cringy.
I don't know how to feel if I think that's genius or if I think it's like really hacky.
How so? What do you mean?
Well,
reference to sexual intercourse?
It's a weird thing. Like I'm like, would he take the time to write that in blood? It seems like something that like wouldn't be like the angelus. But what are you gonna do? I love Spike.
He's taunting her, right? That's the whole point.
Yeah.
She gets to say, like, he's not making it harder on me, he's making it easier.
Yeah.
And then she still can't do it. Whatever.
Yeah, she still can't do it.
Yeah,
I love Spike just under the stairs, like, watching them as they're in his lair, like,
Yeah.
Because you're looking at it, you're like, is Spike going to be like, they're at the mall? you could take either of those from Spike. But he is bound to the wheelchair at the moment, so, like, he couldn't flee away if they were like, okay, let's kill him now.
Yeah,
like,
he just hides, right?
So it makes sense that he would just stay hidden.
Yeah. I like that a lot, though, that they have to leave without him. Yeah. He's like, I'm not going to be in this chair forever. And then Angel's like, see ya. And they leave, and he like grabs Drusilla like, hello, come with me. I'm like, he's there like, tension. Please heal me. He's like drinking, where's my nerdy vampire? Tell me how to heal myself. Damn, like he's still doing that.
He's dead.
He has a great line earlier to Angel when he's like, I know you've been out of the game for a while, like chap, but like we do still kill people, Like that's sort of, I was like, that's cool. He's got good Britishy delivery, so I dig it.
I know you haven't been in the game for a while, mate, but we still do kill people. Sort of our raison d'etre,
Oz has a great line where he's like, so, do you guys steal from the army often?
Well, we don't have cable, so we make our own fun.
So do you guys steal weapons from the army a lot?
Well, we don't have cable, so we have to make our own fun.
I get you.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
He's like, cool, okay.
No vampires transporting boxes?
No, but a 400-pound wino offered to wash my hair.
All right, so that's pretty much everything.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Angel being a super shitlord for the rest of the show here. So I'm gonna enjoy that.
For sure. Was that your prediction?
That was it. I was just
okay.
I wanted to throw something into your sign out. I meant.
Oh, okay.
Said it like
I
that.
thought you had like a.
No, God, no. Heavens, no.
All right, so that was everything about Season 2, Episode 14. We'll see you next week for Season 2, Episode 15. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you then.
No weapon forged can stop me.
That was then. This is now.
Ow.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.